Alright, so I've been having a little bit of issues here. I bought this, made a crosscut sled, went and got a Dado blade, and come to find out, since I've got this really old skill saw, it's been great for me, but it's because I don't do much of this. This is my first real major project. Anyway, I got 112 dados to make for these frames, so I've got to make 2 per board on all 14 frames. Anyway, got a bunch to do. So I went and got a Dado blade because it was taking forever with my crosscut sled and one swipe of an 1/8 of an inch or whatever it was. So I read, and with a 6-inch Dado, you can do a 1/2 inch, it says, for this, and the arbor's only about that big. So I ended up taking that back off because that wasn't going to work, and returned it. You could really hear the saw winding up with that 8-inch Dado on there, and I only had the 1/2 inch stack on that, even though I couldn't put the whole thing on there. I was hoping I could put the whole 3/4 inch and be good. That would have worked out great. So anyway, I decided I don't really want to buy a new table saw, and this thing serves my purposes, and especially now that I got my little crosscut sled, I'll be able to do some things. So I got this extra piece here, and I went and got me a little router. Should be good enough. We've got the Ryobi stuff now, so I just went and got this because we already got the battery. And I saw some videos on there. A guy was doing a whole 3/4 inch rabbet on one board, and it seemed to work great. I'm gonna probably just do a 1/2 inch at a time. I might bump up to a 3/4 inch if it seems to be doing fine. But anyway, I'm gonna make me a little jig since I have so many out of the rest of this board. And there's tons of jigs out there and whatnot, but I'm gonna kind of make a hybrid of the ones that side on the side instead of the fancy adjustable ones. So that's what I'm gonna do. Stay tuned and you'll see how it works out. Okay, for me, I think one 6-inch piece and then cut it in half should be good enough. I'm not really sure. I'll have to wait and see till when I get it going. Now my crosscut sled's messed up from the Dado, so I might have to put a new piece on the bottom. I really don't know why I didn't build one of those a long time ago. I probably would do more woodworking. Alright, so next, so this is the kind that is going to be, you've seen them, they make 2 of these with a little, well, most of the time someone puts a little clamp like this on there and just puts them on the side, and then they use a bearing bit inside here. I wasn't going to pay $39 for a bearing bit, although I might have, probably should have with 112 to make. And that's pretty much all you do. Just put that on there, then you put that on your board, and you can clamp it down wherever. Your bearing, top bearing, router bit rides on this, and then you route that out. So that's the simplest jigs you can make, is just make 2 of these and put them down, clamp them down, and you're good. Mine's going to be close to that. I'm going to still make this kind, but then I'm also going to put the stop block on the top, and then route out my use my router to route the fence. Then I just have to go to the fence, and I can put these wherever I want. So that's how I'm going to make mine. And I'm just going to use a piece of the same board that I'm going to be routing. This is just a leftover cutoff because I want to stick out on each side from my router base. So this will be fine for me. I can just put it up right there. So I'll just cut it off and line this up, square it up real good, and that'll be my base to clamp on. Then all I've got left to do is put a little strip on the top somewhere here. 6 inches was more than enough. Could have went even with like 4 with that small little router, but I'll figure it out, put it right about right here, and then route the edge off. Okay, just repeat for the other side. Alright, so for my strip, I'm just gonna, again, I've got like, I don't know, 19 or 20 of these extra little pieces here, so I'm just going to set these up on here. I used the framing square, a little groove, just shy of 2 inches. That's almost center for this, and it'll stick over on this side. So I just drew a line, checked it out. It looks pretty square to me. I think it's gonna work. And of course I'll try it on a couple test pieces, but I think this is going to be good enough. And then I'll do the same thing over here. I'll square it up, put some screws in it, right there on that line, and then we'll be good. Clamp ain't gonna work there. Let me go get it. Well, just raise it up so I can clamp it before I screw it. Of course, remember to countersink your screws on all this, because you don't want a screw messing up or hitting your router or anything like that. Okay, I think we've got it here. Got it nice and square there. So that's my side that goes on the stock piece that we're going to cut. And then this here. Now all I got left to do is take my router and run it along here. And hopefully I've got it overhanging enough that it does cut it some, and it should. So right there, I've got it like that. So it should trim this piece off just down so that it's perfectly flush with my bit. And the only bad thing about this one is I can always go to a bigger bit, but I can't go to a smaller bit. So the next time I'll trim this down, it's going to have to trim off more of this board for this jig to work. So if I do later decide to go to the 3/4 bit, I can do that, and that's what I'm stuck with. All right, first test run. But right now I'm going to just route the edge of this, which should be the guide, right? So I'll have to route this back a couple times until you hit the fence, and then that's your guide. So let's see if we can figure this thing out here. Okay, I'm ready for my first test. I got my first one set up 1 inch down. I just drew a line, got everything squared up on that, clamped it down. Then the next one, you put your stock in here, this is my spacer. Put that in there. And then you kind of got to tap it down so it's a good, nice, snug fit. Get this one squared up on the side, push it up, and clamp it down. So now, take that out, and I should be ready to go. I may need a little bit longer bit with the 1/2 inch MDF and needing to go down 3/8 of an inch almost. This one doesn't quite do it. I think this is almost bottomed out here, but I can't really tell. I like the adjustment on this though. It's just flip this back and turn the knob. Let's go. No, I don't mind, because that ain't gonna work. Oh.
What do you need, a new tabletop?
You see? I can't hold it steady, you know. Maybe I could go like that. Okay, so first thing, plus, I do like the router. Works great. Makes a nice clean, you know, these 2 passes right along the fence are nice and clean. A little bit of a sanding, I'll take care of that. So the router works pretty great. Probably was a little deep for the power it has, but it worked. Did pretty well. And I started cleaning this out in here. So this router is pretty decent for anything I'll be doing. I probably won't, you know, this is my biggest job and I won't be doing that very often. I have another option I'm gonna try. Or I'll just end up upgrading saws or something. But anyway, this was about the jigs here. That worked out great. Perfectly lined up here and lined up here, and my router was great. Moving first pass, nice and easy, nice and easy. What I didn't think about was, oh, I'm not doing a little cross dado. I'm doing a flat half lap, right? Like this, big old 3.5 inches. Well, have a little bit of a problem there. That barely spans, well, it is 3.5 inches. So when I got in here to the middle, I was tipping down off of my jig, so it wouldn't work. Would work great for my old router with a nice big old 5-inch base or whatever. So then you could go back and forth all over the place and it'd be real easy. This router here looks brand new almost still, other than sitting around with dust, but it has a really known a common problem with this lock switch here. It doesn't register that it's unlocked, so it thinks your router's locked and it won't come on. A lot of times you can take compressed air and blow in there real well and everything else, and then it'll start working for a little while, but as soon as you get some dust in there, it'll stop working again. So I just have never used it really. Let it sit there, and was probably one of the reasons why I got turned off of doing that, because that was one of my first tools. These two tools my dad and mom bought me way back when I first got our first house, and so I've had them for 25 years now already, I guess, or so, somewhere around there. They bought them shortly after I moved in because I was kind of building some stuff for the house then. So I've had them forever, just never got into them. So the jig works great. Simple kind of combination. You'll see fancier versions with a nice big long flat piece of hardboard or MDF with some screws where you can kind of adjust it and tighten it down and whatever, but and then you'll see some with just this and you clamp it down, and then they use the top mount bearing bits. So those would work good, but for me this was pretty quick and simple. Just used some scrap that I had cut off from the pieces of the whatever it is, 28, yeah, something like that, 28 pieces of board. No, not 28, 100 and something. Anyway, all the boards. So I had a bunch of these small sections like this left over, and I just put them together for my jig. So anyway, it's been a great process. It's one of the biggest projects, like I've said, and I've learned a lot about dados and rabbits and routers and some stuff. So I've been doing a lot of reading. I'm even looking at a radial arm saw now, so that might be coming in the final product. So we'll see. Just get out there and learn something new. I've had a really good time doing this. It's been taking me a little while because things haven't been going quite right, but it's been fun. And since I always do metal work, this is just it's a little more forgiving. You can kind of fill in that weld, or put some filler or a plate on top or something. So the looks, sometimes it's hidden under the table and you don't really care on the welding as much as this stuff, but I cannot have that. So that's nice, and I don't know, that's just funny. But anyway, we'll keep going. As always, get outside, try something new, keep on learning, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.